Today we're going to talk about the analogy of an enterprise architect as an architect who builds buildings or even plans cities and suburbs and even whole countries. Why did the whole professional practice choose the word architect to describe what we do? Well, I think there's a beautiful reason why that is so. If you come to think about it, what does an architect of your house or your building do? First of all, an architect creates blueprints. Blueprints have a certain permanence in them, and there's a reason for that. Blueprints lay out the pattern, the plans, the stuff under the hood in your house or in your building that allows governmental agencies or even other professionals like electricians, plumbers to have a way of finding out how things fit together. So you don't go about ripping, your floor just to find out how the different pipes work together. Why? Because you already have a blueprint in front of you. And the kind of materials that architects use to create these plans are also have a certain permanence in them. In fact, they're made of a material that's longer lasting than an ordinary piece of paper. And even the ink that they use has a certain permanence in them. That's why the term blue is there for a reason, because it looks blue. The other reason why architecture is a good analogy for what we do as enterprise architects is that we build models in the same way that an architect comes up with a perspective model or even a mock-up of a future house or building is a good representation of what we actually do on a daily basis. The reason that I see why it's helpful to come up with models is it allows the investor, the one who puts in the money, whether it's yourself as the homeowner or you are the CEO of an enterprise, you want to see something in concrete that you can grasp your hands with to tell you that this is what the future looks like. Isn't it nice to see when you walk into an architect's office, you see these models of 50-story buildings and you say, wow, it's beautiful, but it will get built within the next 2 to 3 years. Therefore, architect, to describe what we do, is a more appropriate and beautiful term rather than using examples like engineer or analyst or scientist. And I'd like to say that architecture can also be expanded beyond building houses or building buildings. As I mentioned, it can even go beyond to planning cities or suburbs or a whole country. And therefore, architecture is indeed the most appropriate way of describing what we do.